guys cooperated. Shows great promise for the marriage. Also that Brett let Tina lead. All right, now we're going to hear our first speech is the father of the bride, Jim Sweeney.
Well, that was a tough one.
I'll try to stay out of the way.
So I would like to first off thank you all very, very, very much for coming today. It's a crazy time in 2020. If somebody told me a year and a half ago that we'd have 6 weeks to throw together a backyard wedding and a backyard reception, I'd have told you all are crazy. So here we are. So, you know, I really do mean it from the bottom of my heart, and it really is about making this day special for Brett and Tina. So thank you all for coming. Mark and Mary, thank you very much. You raised a fine young man. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Christine, hiding in the corner. Yep, as y'all know, she did most of the heavy lifting on the kids, and I think all three of them turned out great. On June 13th of 1980, that is still the most important day of my life. And that would have been their wedding day. Also, thanks to Chris, to Tina, and to Brett, because we really did throw this whole thing together in about 4 to 5 weeks, and it really was a collaboration of a lot of people that made this come to fruition, so thank you. So this little talk is going to have a bit of a theme. We're going to have a little weather, a little bit of fate, a little bit of phone calls, and we're going to start with Brett. So, Brett, I'd like to thank you officially and welcome you to the family. We welcomed Brett unofficially a year and a half ago, but this is the official portion. And, you know, Eric didn't have a brother, and now he got one brother, and now he's got 2 brothers, so it's all good. So I want to talk, if you look at Brett, confident, got his game together, and if you notice, there's never a hair out of place. Okay? But Brett, things started getting serious, and about a year and a half ago, Brett called us up, and Brett said, hey, can I come over and talk to you and Chris? I said, okay. And he goes, it's alone, I'm on my way home from work, so we're like, all right, this must be to ask for our hand in marriage. So Brett comes in, he sits down, and I figured, hey, minute or 2, crack open a beer, all good to go. Oh my God, Brett sits down. His hands are going like this, kind of like when he was juggling the ring on the altar today. And his feet are going like this. He was like a 5-year-old that had to pee in church. And I've never seen a poor guy so nervous. His face was about the color of their tablecloth or Tina's dress. And we talked about the weather, we talked about sports, we talked about his job. I gave him 1 beer, I gave him 2 beers, 3 beers. Finally, he asked me to marry my daughter, and guess what my response was? I didn't say a damn thing for 10 seconds. Chris over there was like kicking me, elbowing me, she's giving me the death stare, and I'm laughing inside, because this is the last one, right? So I go, all right, poor guy, I've tormented him enough. So, you know, we had a little discussion of a certain few things that had to happen, and yeah, so he understands that. And here we are today. So Brett, welcome. Now we get to talk about Christina. Tina Ballerina, T Monster, or the good child. And yes, she is one of 2 Daddy's little girls, the youngest. Tina is our free spirit. Depending on how the wind blows, it's kind of how her mood goes. Tina also has big game, okay? But I'm not going to talk about points or goals or kills or any of that. I'm going to talk about a young lady that has a huge heart and a heart of gold. Okay? This whole thing started 11 years ago. You guys touched on that last night, thank you. And when they first met at Cal Poly, sparks did not fly. Okay? They were friends, and they moved on with life. And, you know, we visited her a lot, and I talked to you about the Heart of Gold. So we're up there, and Friday night, I get another phone call, and it's, hey, Dad, what are you doing? Nothing. Hey, would you like to, did you bring the big car? Yeah. How about we do a little road trip? So we spent the next half hour going to Starbucks, all of the restaurants, getting food so we could drive to the homeless shelter and supply the food to feed the homeless at San Luis Obispo. Okay? Then I got a phone call. Figured, hey, she's going to come home this summer. Hey, Dad, I've got a little invitation. There's this Christian teen camp in Georgia, and they need a counselor to help the youth become better in tune and in love with God, and I want to go be a counselor at the teen camp. Thank you, Mikey. Okay? Well, I'm thinking, damn, she's a senior by now, and I'm thinking, maybe she's going to come home. Phone call. Mm-hmm. Hey, Dad, you know, there's this organization that needs some help in New Orleans, Louisiana, and they need to rebuild homes in the 9th Ward because they had this little storm. The storm was called Katrina that devastated New Orleans. So my little princess was on a roof, roofing, laying drywall, and so on and so forth. So now we'll fast forward to a few years ago. Another phone call. You can kind of see the theme where this is going. Okay? Hey, Dad, I want to do a little hike. And would you mind sponsoring me? We want to help out some kids. The little hike was 28 miles in Big Bear at 6,000 feet to help terminally ill children. It's called Make-A-Wish. So 3 o'clock in the morning with headlamps on. Brett was there too. So when I talk about, you know, a girl with a heart of gold, it is that. So, sad story. 2 years ago, she's almost 30. She comes in, and as you can tell, she's pretty bubbly, pretty happy young lady, and she's pretty down. And I said, hey, Katie, what's the problem? She goes, Dad, I'm almost 30. I really haven't met anybody. I haven't met the one. And as a dad, you're, you know, a lot of you dads out there, your heart breaks when daddy's little girl says that. And so, you know, we hug, we have a couple of beers, a lot of beers. We get through it, and phone rings again. Hey, Dad, I want to bring somebody over. Okay, great. She comes in, she runs in the house, she goes, let me go out and get him. Okay. Well, what's his name? Hey, Stubbs. Stubbs? I'm like, that's kind of weird. So Tina walks in with Stubbs, and for those of you who don't know, Stubbs is a bearded dragon or a big lizard. Yep. So, you know, have a couple of beers, a little glass of wine, and so on and so forth, and then the phone rings again. And she said, hey, Dad, I want you to meet somebody. And this time she comes in, and she's glowing. She's got that twinkle in her eyes, and the man of her dreams walked in with her, and that's Brett. So remember the game comment I made sooner? We went to a ton of Catholic churches. She was usually in uniform or in dance outfit, and we used to go to St. Gabriel. And St. Gabriel back then was a church hall, and we listened to Mass, and Amanda knows, we listened to Mass in folding chairs on the lawn. And she came home and went to St. Gabriel, and she goes, Dad, that is the most beautiful church in San Diego. I want to get married there. Well, through this whole process, we were going to go to Temecula, yada, 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 and kind of left that at bay. So we started looking at wedding venues, and we looked at 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, God help us, we looked at more wedding venues than any parents should ever have to endure in their life. But the first thing she said is, Dad, I want to get married outside. Because remember, she's the free spirit in the family. So to kind of wrap this up, Daddy's little girl got her Charlie. She got married in the church of her dreams. And she had a backyard outdoor wedding. So they're the perfect COVID couple. They're courageous and charismatic. They're outgoing and optimistic. They're vibrant and vivacious. They're industrious and inspiring. And they are damn glad to finally be getting married. Please stand. Please stand. Raise a glass for two wonderful people, truly in love, guided by God, wishing them many decades of love and happiness to Tina and Brett. I love you guys. All right, I'm done and I can drink like a madman now.
John. He always does. Kills it.